Obviously, I was wrong. I predicted the Titans to win versus. I predicted the Titans to win a great close game versus the Houston Texans, 23-20, and that got removed in the first half because the Texans ended up scoring 24 points in the first half and led 24-10, and. It's extremely disappointed because the Titans, they ended up having a pretty good start to this game since they scored the first 10 points of the game, had a 10-zip lead, but then the Texans were able to regroup, play better, and completely outplay the Titans since they outscored them in the first half 24-10 after that 10-zip lead by the Titans, and again, they continued to play better than the Titans in the second half because the Texans ended up outscoring the Titans in the second half 10-7, and the Titans, it looked like they were going to come back because they reduced, and also again extremely frustrating because it really looked like the Titans were going to reduce the lead. They had it down to 27-17, but then they weren't able to finish the comeback. So that was extremely disappointing, and along with it's also extremely disappointing that the Titans also, they really looked like they were going to be able to keep this a great close game because they drove the football down the field when the Texans were leading 14-10. It's 4th and 1, and the Titans aren't able to get that 1 yard. Looked like they were going to be able to maybe score a touchdown or a field goal, keep this game close going into half keep the game close, but they didn't, and they didn't get that 4th and 1, and then it just completely switched over to the Texans, which the evidence showed because Lamar Miller, looking like Tony Dorsett, had a great long run of more than 80 yards, which I think it's the longest touchdown run in the Texans franchise history. So that's extremely frustrating and increased the Texans' lead, and even what looked like it was going to be a fail for the Texans, Watson was able to get the ball moved into field goal range and still spike the ball with 1 second left, and the Texans scored to increase the lead to 24-10 at halftime. So yeah, it's really extremely frustrating that Mariota could play this great because he had no turnovers. He had 0 turnovers. He was completing, if I recall right, he completed over 18 of his passes, and if I recall right, all of his passes, and it didn't matter because the Titans defense gave up big plays, continue to give up big plays since they got outscored in the first, whether it's pass or Watson running, but mostly the pass, but also Watson running and Miller running. And they were outplayed after that 10-zip lead since the Texans scored 24 unanswered points. They got up to 27, and then when the Titans finally did answer, that was after the Texans had scored 27 points. So it's an extremely disappointing that the Titans could play. Obviously, they played better than the Colts game. Also a division game because they actually had the lead in this 10-zip in this game. The lead was less in this game at halftime, but it didn't matter because again the Titans' offense wasn't as anemic as that Colts game, but it was still anemic enough that they weren't able to come back. They weren't able to score above 17 points, and So yeah, it's extremely frustrating that the Titans had a pretty good start and then they just crumble and they can't recover. And they had a chance to recover and they weren't able to finish that comeback once it got down to 27-17. And then the Texans just moved the ball and score a soul crusher TD to again increase the lead to 17, and the Titans aren't able to come back after that 34-17. After the lead got increased to 34-17. So yeah, it's another extremely frustrating, disappointing loss. Even with the Titans playing better, it didn't matter because their defense wasn't able to defend when needed most. with again giving up more than 24 points versus giving up big plays and giving up more than 27 points versus a AFC South foe on the road, and again losing to an AFC South foe on the road. And obviously this game wasn't the only time this looked like it was going to be a great. This game completely changed after that 10-zip lead because the Texans made it laugher, and it only looked like it was going to be a great close game if the Titans were able to get that 4th and 1, because likely they would be able to score a touchdown to keep it competitive and close, but they didn't. So for most of this game after 10-zip, it was a laugher that the Texans won without sweating. And only time they were sweating was when it looked like the Titans were again going to retake that lead, and also slightly when it looked like the Titans were going to come back since they reduced the lead down to 10. So yeah, this was an all too easy win that the Texans made a laugher after 10-zip, since they scored 24 unanswered points. It increased to 27 points before the Titans finally responded by scoring points after Texans had scored 27 points. And this obviously makes it hard now for the Titans, because their division record has now been dropped down to 2-2, and the Colts have that tiebreaker versus the Titans right now. The Texans also have a better division record, and they also have a better overall record. So while I know it's going to be a damn high wall for the Titans to actually win the division, I'm not counting them out at all. Mainly because most of the games that the Titans have left it's not like they're playing good or great teams, and most of them are at home. And also with the fact that and even if they're not able to win the AFC South, the Ravens don't have such a huge lead that the Titans couldn't get ahead of them, which they're going to have to, because the Ravens have the tiebreaker, since the Ravens did beat the Titans, and Titans having to get past the Dolphins and what other teams that are only slightly ahead of them with the tiebreakers. It's not like it's that much. So I'm still optimistic that even with the high wall to climb, that the Titans are going to be able to make the playoffs, whether that's as a wild card, which would be more likely, or winning the AFC South. So it's going to be an exciting and dramatic final month for the Titans, and also an exciting and dramatic final month for the AFC South, because it's a 2-team race, possibly assuming the Titans are able to play pretty good or great. It could be a 3-team race, but if not, it's still going to be a 2-team race. And that's exciting for a division that has, most of this entire decade, has been a laughingstock of the NFL as a awful division, which it has been.